So it's Slaughterhouse-Five, and like this is a horrible edition of it because it's just too on the nose. These quotes around here, like nothing hurt and everything was beautiful. No, everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. That's what it says. I was reading that wrong. And then around the edge it says, "So it goes," and all moments, past, present, and future, always have existed, always will exist. And it's like they're just too on the nose. Like that's exactly everything that the story's about. Like "so it goes" is like a phrase that's repeated over and over and over again in the story. Part of the story is about the main character. He's called Billy Pilgrim. I want to say Billy Ripken, which is a baseball player, but Billy Pilgrim. And he is a prisoner of war in Germany during the Second World War.
Yeah.
And like they get put into into a big barn, and it's called Slaughterhouse-Five. Like that's where the name of the book comes from. But that's actually true. Like that. Like Kurt Vonnegut, the author, was a prisoner of war in Germany and was in a building called Slaughterhouse-Five. Like
so, it's kind
so
of
much
based
of it
off
is a
his
memoir.
life.
Yeah. So a key feature of the story is that he's come unstuck from time. And like that's where the Tralfamadorians come in. It's like they're 4D aliens that don't exist within our concept of time.
Oh, so it kind of sounds like, have you seen Arrival, the sci-fi film?
Like that kind of thing, but less like there's a linearness and a cyclicalness in that, which is like is like very similar but fundamentally different from in here.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like the way of explaining, like in Arrival, about this idea that exists outside of human concepts.
Yeah.
But because he's unstuck from time, like he would just be, we're walking down this road and then he'll blink and like he's back in the war, or he'll blink and he's a child, or he'll blink and he's dead, and then like he'll just come back from death. Like
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, but
sounds like it would keep you on your toes, you know, like as you read it for the first time.
I like listened to this thing, like just someone talking about the book, and they were saying that one of like the sort of meditations of it is almost like a meditation on PTSD. And it's like that's why he always ends up back in the war.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's like he's saying this is my book about Dresden, and it's told in this weird way because it's so traumatic for him to try and think about going back to that time.
Yeah. So what sort of age were you when you first like got into it? Like
I reckon
you read it for the first time?
17, 18.
Okay, so it's like very much like you're beginning to like learn more about like the types of things that you like.
I think I read The Outsider, and that was like a real like mind-opening book for me to read.
Yeah.
And then after I read that, I think when I came to this, I didn't have any idea what it was going to be about and what it was going to be like, but it meant I had like this like existential like thing on my mind, and that was like made me enjoy the book a lot more.
Yeah.
But since then I've probably read it like it's a lot of guys on bikes.
Look at them go.
It's like I've probably read it maybe 3 or 4 times more since then.
Yeah.
Because you can just go through it so quickly as well. That's something that's great about it.
Is it a book that you've talked about a lot with friends who have like also read it, or is it very much like
I hardly know anyone who's read it, which surprises me.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not a private experience, like you're saying. Like it's definitely something I want to share with people, and I'd love to chat to people about. But I just don't know that many people have read it. But in my mind, like it's not. There's nothing underground about it. There's nothing inaccessible about it. I feel like it's like a really, such a massive seller. Like, seems like it's on school curriculums, things like that.
Yeah, because I feel like I'd not heard of it until you, like,
it's weird.
brought it up to me, but
maybe I just like have this feeling that it's really massive, and like it's not. Maybe it was massive. Like it came out in 1960, I think, and maybe it was like big in the late 20th century. And it's like waned in popularity or something.
Yeah. So would you say like a lot of
dog.
Cool. Oh yeah. I feel like I've seen that same thing like
it's
all
cute.
over.
It's cute.
Yeah. No, he's saying like it's basically his way of trying to deal with trauma.
I think that's a big part of it for sure. Like,
so with that in mind, like what's the main, like how does the book make you feel, or like what's the prevailing like emotion when you read it? Like a sadness or confusion, because it sounds like it can be very disorientating to read.
It's strange. No, strangely, it doesn't make me feel like any of those things. Like one of the phrases it repeats throughout the book is "so it goes," and it's basically like whenever it says that, is it saying like you can't prevent the inevitable kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, say, you know, if someone came out there right now, threatened us with a knife, then like you're telling
From
someone
the dog
about it
bowl.
later. Yeah, and then when you're telling someone about it later, you'll be like, yeah, so it goes. Like, it's just like, it happened. Like, what can you do about the fact that happened? Like, yeah, maybe you have like emotions, like an emotional response to it, but it's like, besides your emotional response, like, it is just the way things go. Like, you don't have control. It's very
So it's sort of
deterministic. Like,
surrendering.
yeah, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing with the aliens. It's like, why?
And that's the thing with the aliens.
But it's like, one of the good things about them is like, they are almost like, you know, the enlightened being in a
Yeah.
way. But the thing is that's good about them is like, they're not like, they're just aliens, they're just stupid like the same way humans are. But then just because they have like this difference in the way they see things,
Yeah.
it makes them seem like they are smarter.
Yeah.
But then like, because he'll chat to the aliens and say like, well, do you not worry about dying? Or like, do you not think about the end of the world? And then they'll just be like, no, we know the end of the universe. Like, no, I know what it's like to be dead.
But like it's all fine.
Yeah, they're
that's
like,
just
so
the way
it doesn't matter.
goes.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. It's just like there are other things in life, in the world, in the universe to be focusing on apart from like what's going to happen next or what's happened before.
Yeah. Whereabouts
Should we hit the cross?
were you when you read the book for the first time? Did you
Oh.
like read it all in one go, or was
I
it
reckon
like...
I probably was like sat in my bedroom in my parents' house, and I probably read it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like I used to just get like just like, you know, obsessively like into a book or something.
Yeah.
And I'd just like sit there for like days straight and just smash it out. Obviously this
Yeah.
is a short one. But, you
Oh,
know,
it
like the Secret
seems
History.
like the TV's been moved.
Oh yeah. I haven't
Someone-
seen. I feel like I haven't seen this sign either. The Wim Wam Cafe. I like that sign.
Looks it looks kind of like something that I'd expect to be in the book. Like it doesn't really
Oh yeah, it
fit
has
in.
sort
It
of
seems
like
a little bit surreal.
mid-century modern like American. What's it like Americana vibe or something?
Yeah. But yeah, so do you feel like part of the reason why this book is like, because obviously you've chosen to talk about it now, like do you think it's...
Winner, 15% off Zavi.
I don't even know what that...
I think
What that
you
means.
can buy like albums there. I'm
That's
gonna keep hold of that.
No, I was going to say, do you think this will be a book that you come back to like throughout your whole life, because it was
Yeah, I
something that you
reckon
got
so.
into right at the beginning of when sort of you were becoming who you've turned into? You know,
Yeah.
like 18, I feel like that's a very...
And
Important
like there's the Kurt because of like the Kurt Vonnegut, like talking about things as like, oh, the Kurt Vonnegut universe, like I'd say it's kind of like anachronistic, because I don't think when he was writing them he was thinking about things in that modern sense of
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna write this book and it's gonna play into this book.
Yeah.
Like I think, but the thing is, it's like I feel like he is like a scholar of literature as well, that when he first became a writer after he'd been a soldier,
Yeah.
like he studied like story plots, and he like would study like a main character's fortune and plot it over a course of a story and create
What, like-
graphs.
the classic like arc, or...
Yeah, those. So he would plot those arcs on graphs, like,
Right, okay.
and so he figured out like this is one story type, this is another story type, like popular story types, like that capture audiences' minds, like, you know, that kind of thing. So then in his books, he kind of like decided he wanted to write books that didn't have positive or negative things happen. They just have things that happen. Like,
Yeah.
so you can't, there's no, like, there's always like foreboding, like in a story, or like foreshadowing, where you can see that arc, that classic structure.
Yeah.
Whereas his books don't have those classic structures, so you never know which direction things are going to go in. But
So-
that's like life, that it's like things just happen to you and you don't know why they happen, you don't know what direction they're taking you in. Like
Yeah.
nothing's meaningful, but everything is meaningful because of that.
Yeah.
Whereas like in other books, it's there's so much weight. Everything is like holy and happens for a reason. Like,
With that in mind, like that makes you think like, I don't know how this book ends, but it feels to me like it would just end and it wouldn't really tie things up. Is that right, or-
it's no spoiler of the story, but
Yeah.
basically the last line, I think maybe the last line is like, and I heard a bird go pooty wheat, and that's it. But yeah, all of his anything by Vonnegut, it's automatic read for me. We're going to carry on this way? Cool.
I think we're done.
I feel like that would be a good ending. It's like, should we carry on this way?
Yeah.